Hello, everybody. I cannot push buttons fast enough, and apparently I wanted a little acoustic cinematic theme as we were going live. So I apologize, but hopefully you were entertained by that. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ethan.
And welcome back for another round of First Pitch Strike. We have a fantastic show tonight where you won't listen to Ethan or I drone on and on and on all night long because we have Rachel Marsden, straight from Frisco, Texas, with the Frisco RoughRiders. Selfless plug for you with my RoughRiders hat from the Bowling for Soup night.
That's right.
So welcome, Rachel.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Bowling for Soup. It's the band.
They do like all the soundtracks on Phineas and Ferb.
No way.
Yeah.
That's them?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
That's cool.
and let's see, they do 1985.
Your guess is as good as mine. I honestly had never heard of them until I got to Frisco and we had the night, and I was like, what is that? And then I educated myself on it, and I guess that is one of the songs, yeah.
Yeah. It comes as I drive for rideshare, so depending upon what station I'm on, that comes on at least once a night when I'm driving around. So it's definitely fun. And when I texted my brother that they were going to be there live signing autographs that night, I said, I never thought I'd get my dad to go see Bowling for Soup. And yet here we are. And he said, well, at least you're ready for 1985 now. I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. That is true. So, wrong one here. There we go. I have so many categories on these banners that I pushed the wrong one, so I'm sorry. So before we hop in, Rachel, as an introduction, is a former D1 pitcher for women's softball at the school she was attending, which I'm sorry, I do not remember because it's one I look up every single time I try to remember. But now she's working with the Frisco RoughRiders in the ticketing services and doing some PR outreach as well. So, again, welcome, Rachel. Hopefully you've buckled up and you're ready for a fun little ride here.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to start with a little MLB action. Ethan, you were down at Coors Field on Saturday. How was it?
Good. The Mets are good at baseball. The Rockies are not. The Rockies are like a little league team. It's like watching kids at a circus. You know, they can't. Their third base coach, mind you, is an idiot, complete moron. I had to send a little chirp at him. He hurt me too because he looked.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he looked at me.
That's interesting.
Okay. Quiz time.
Okay.
Well, what did you say?
Huh?
What was that?
What did you say?
That doesn't matter. That's
no, it kind of does.
I'll tell you later. I got to tell the story first, or else it doesn't make sense. Baseball knowledge, right? Softball knowledge. Kind of the same things. 2 outs. There might have been just a guy on first. Maybe he was on second. I don't remember. But there's 2 outs. If there's 2 outs and the ball is hit, you do what?
You run.
You run. You got to go. You got to act like you want to score, right? No.
Yeah.
Ground ball up the middle. Brett Beatty dives for it. Kicks off his glove. Ball goes to shallow center field. You know what the third base coach does? Holds him up at third base.
Classic.
Holds him up at third base. He could have scored with no throw. And at that point, it would have been 4-2, and the Rockies would have actually had a chance.
Well, even that, like, you got to at least draw the throw. Like,
no,
even if it is going to be close, which you're saying it's not, you at least got to draw the throw. I mean, the catcher could miff it. Pitcher could cut the ball off. I mean, that happened to us all the time in softball. The pitcher or whoever was supposed to cut it was the pitchers, and then we got demoted. So it was like the base players, but they'd cut it off because they think that it was a cuttable ball. And it's like, I don't know. You could have scored.
No, he got held up. And mind you, he got held up before they even threw the ball back into the infield.
They're content just making it to third base, I guess.
It's like, what do you do? You can't be content with just one base. He's on second base. You have to. He has to score. He has to score. It's only in the beginning, but he has to score. There's 2 outs.
That's unfortunately probably where the third base coach employed the never make an out at home plate if it's the third out.
I'd rather that.
You're the
always agree with
Rockies.
that.
You're already terrible.
At least you're trying to score more than you can. You can't score any runs. Why would you hold a guy at third base? There's a wide open chance to run home. Take it.
Yeah.
They ended up losing 8-1. Go figures. Couldn't score after that. It could have been 8-2. Could have been 8-2. They could have had the extra run.
So what did you chirp then?
I said, you can't be that stupid. There's 2 outs. You have to send the guy. And I yelled.
And he looked.
He looked straight at me.
Oh boy. Wow.
Also, the hottest man on planet Earth right now is Cal Raleigh.
Yes. I will agree with that.
I had that in there. Roman
And it
Anthony.
doesn't matter which side of the plate he's hitting from because he just hits the ball.
Over the
Unfortunately, nobody else on the Mariners can hit the ball. So, yeah, to say that this is not good for my blood pressure is an understatement. Rachel, I grew up north of Seattle. Ethan was born out in the Seattle area. Huge Seattle fans. My apologies for that. But
It might not look like it right now. I'm decked out in that.
yeah. Yeah. But background, Brandon Nimmo, the left fielder for the New York Mets, actually played for Post 6 Baseball, which is the American Legion team here in Cheyenne. So, since he's on the New York Mets, a lot of the Cheyenne residents that follow baseball pay attention to what the Mets are doing.
Fair enough.
So,
I got a glove tap
there's that
from him,
background.
too. I yelled
Did ya?
something. I got a glove tap.
Excellent.
I yelled,
I like
there's
it.
a 6 in the area. Glove tap.
Nice. Excellent. I don't know if you saw this, but a couple days ago, well, actually early last week, did you know Aaron Judge has an arm?
Did you
he
know
can
Aaron
throw
Judge
anybody
is-
out?
Aaron Judge doesn't get out on the bases either. He doesn't get out hitting.
no.
He doesn't. He can do anything.
Yeah.
That's my
The
guy.
guy is 400.
Oh.
You're hitting 400 halfway through the season. He
not
has
quite
250
halfway.
at bats.
See,
Yeah.
and I'm a
He's
Yankees
hitting
fan.
400.
Whether I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm a Yankees fan.
It's all
so
good.
I've loved the Yankees since I was 7 years old and just whatnot. But when I watch Judge play, it's almost like a man among boys, even though they're all men. It's like
Yes.
it's like watching a video game. Like,
Yes.
and I wish it was like not cliche to say that, but it's like I don't even know. And he's not getting very many good pitches to hit, and he still hits them 450 feet plus. It's like, how are you even doing that? Yeah.
Yes. So the play I saw, he just, lackadaisical, field the ball in right field, turn around, and what looked like just an easy throw back to second base was not. It was a laser right to the second baseman.
95 probably.
It was stupid, but it was right to the second baseman. As the second baseman goes to the ground, he catches it right in front of the base, right as the runner's hand is coming, sliding into the mitt. And I'm like, dude, he didn't even throw it. How is that possible? And yet here we are watching Aaron Judge just play his own personal video game, like you said, Rachel.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Other MLB news. Ethan, will Wander ever learn?
What?
Will Wander ever learn?
No. The guy's an idiot.
Okay. I get MLB updates all the time. Ethan does too. I texted him while he was working today, Wander Franco. If nobody else has seen it, he now has additional charges for gun possession, which apparently you're not supposed to do when you're pending court trial. Who knew?
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have thought that, right?
Something I never knew. Oh boy. How is it Cleveland is still so good?
They have Jose Ramirez.
Okay, fair. But I mean, didn't they trade away Naylor, who was also really good?
But he was kind of I don't know. He was hit or miss.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So my pick for the Athletics to contend for a playoff spot. Why did they go on such a losing streak?
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Oh man, that was a brutal 2 weeks to watch them play baseball, and they ain't recovered yet either. And yet, all of a sudden we have
53.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we have the Angels looking like they know how to play baseball. Is that just simply because of Aaron or having Mike Trout back?
Yes, he's a leader. He leads people.
That's fair.
He leads people.
Rachel, thoughts?
He hasn't been able to do that because he's been hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it is the case with most teams. When you have your star player back, like everyone gets their swag back. I don't know what it is, but it's like, oh, he's back. Like, great, let's go. It's like how it was in softball. It's like, oh, when you have your leader back, like Ethan was saying, it's like having a new breath of fresh air in the locker room. It's just different. And it's so weird how like the sports psychology works on that. But I mean, you see it with every sport, the star quarterback comes back and next thing you know, they start winning. It's like, well, I mean, maybe it's because of him or her, but I don't know. It's just hard to explain, but swagger comes back.
That's fair. Just, it's rough. It's so rough being a Seattle fan. And the Angels don't help. The Rangers don't help. The Astros haven't helped. It's brutal. It's been a long season. Really long season. So speaking of softball, Rachel, talk to us about your college career, how you got into softball there, and then from softball into Frisco.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I started playing softball, I think I was like 7. I have 2 older brothers, and they played baseball. They weren't really the most committed to it. My dad kind of made them play. My dad was a really good baseball player, played all the way until he was like in his 30s. Like he just always loved it, always did it. And so, I mean, that was kind of something he wanted to try and get my older brothers into. And I mean, the oldest one wasn't really into it. The middle one was more athletic, but just didn't really love it. And so every day when my dad would go out there and practice in the backyard with the boys, of course I wanted to do it too. Like I didn't want to just sit in the house with my mom and watch her clean up after dinner. So I would always go out and join them. And at first I wasn't able to do a whole lot because I didn't know how to catch or throw or anything like that. And he was spending most of his time teaching them and helping them. And I was just kind of like person that shagged or like went and retrieved balls that they overthrew and just stuff like that. And it ended up being more and more where I would be the one going out in the backyard with my dad, just, playing catch. Or we used to have like an old dog pen. It was just a chain link thing. It was the people that had it at the house before us. And we tore it down, tore the dog house down, but left the fencing and we would hit back there. So pretty cool. And, we went down to the local ballpark actually and took one of the home plates that was thrown into the woods, like that somebody it probably was stealing. We were like probably 10 years old, but like we stole the home plate, put it in the ground, and it's still back there. It just serves as like a reminder. But yeah, it just kind of turned into me and my dad out in the backyard practicing and hitting and stuff like that. And then I think I was around maybe 9 or 10 as when I started actually pitching. And that was definitely a love-hate. And as I'm sure Ethan can attest, it was fun while you're little. And then it starts to get kind of hard around 14, 15. It's like, okay, like these kids are getting stronger. These kids are getting better. Now I got to get really better. And it's like, more days than not, you kind of hated it. But anyways, I did that for a long time, and I always played out of town because where I'm from, wasn't really a big metropolitan area, so I had to go somewhere that was. Me being from Erie, I'm from Pennsylvania, so Erie is actually an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh, east of Cleveland, and west of Buffalo, New York. So it's kind of equidistant. I kind of picked my market on where I wanted to play. So I did a little bit of playing in each city, actually. I did a little bit of time in Buffalo, a little bit of time in Pittsburgh, and very brief amount of time in the Cleveland area. But that's when I started my travel ball, and all that entails traveling and back and forth a couple times a week for practices, which my dad put tons of miles on the car. I don't know how he did that, but yeah. And then when I was in 8th grade, I verbally committed to UPenn, which is an Ivy League school. And then kind of the older I got in high school, I was like, I don't really know that I want to be all school and a little softball. I kind of wanted to find more of a balance between softball and academics. So it just so happened that another smaller Division I school in the state of Pennsylvania, which is where I ended up, had just gotten a new head coach. So they kind of had some openings, and I just on a whim was like, well, I guess this is my chance. So I shot her an email, and she was like, yeah, that looks really good. Like, I want to see a video of you, and watched me throw a little bit, and then invited me to camp, and the rest is kind of history on that. So, but yeah, I played for 5 years at St. Francis. I pitched, and I also hit when I didn't pitch. So I don't consider myself a PO because I was not a PO. But no, I mean, I had plenty of other people on my team that were just pitchers only, and I respected them. I mean, that's hard work too, but just growing up my whole life, I always hit. I always liked to hit. And on a lot of the teams I was on, we were not very good hitting, so I kind of had to hit. So, but yeah, it was great. And then played for 5 years. Obviously, COVID was my freshman year, so got that year of eligibility back and got my master's degree. So after that, then I went to Oklahoma City for USA softball, and I actually worked the Women's College World Series last year.
Nice.
Did a bunch of cool different things down there. We run a bunch of like youth tournaments and stuff like that, and I was an intern with them. And then when that internship was over in September, I needed to find a big girl job, as my parents said. So, I got on and was applying for, felt like everything under the sun. September is kind of a difficult time of year. Baseball season's still kind of going on. Football season has just started, and those were the two areas that I kind of wanted to get into the most. So anyways, I was just kind of applying to pretty much any baseball or any football position. Obviously, I have degrees in marketing and management, and I have my MBA. So the sky was kind of the limit, and I first tried marketing because that's kind of the angle I wanted to go. But a lot of people were like, yeah, you got to get into sales first, like build that foundation. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get into that. It was kind of something that I knew I wasn't going to be crazy about, but I honestly have come to kind of like it. It's kind of fun when it's going well. It's like, this is awesome. And then when you call people and they just hang up on you all the time, you're like, yeah, this sucks. But it's fun. It's different every day. It's exciting. So anyways, I landed in Frisco. I started in February. Just kind of been, learning everything that I can. I've got a lot of really great people around me in Frisco, in the front office, my coworkers. Everyone's wonderful and has been super helpful. So I'm still learning each and every day, but I think I'm getting better at it, and I think I'm finally starting to grasp it. Although it does change day to day and whatnot, but doing the best I can and taking it in, watching a lot of baseball, being around a lot of baseball, which I don't have any problem with. I love it, actually. So, but yeah, that's I guess a condensed version. Awesome. If you would even say it was condensed, but I think it was.
I don't know. I like it. Perfect. I mean, we got to know. I mean, it's always an adventure starting young. Ethan was basically naming the entire Seattle Mariners baseball roster by the time he was 2 or 3. And he could swing a bat before he could walk. So That's really how he got involved.
Swing a bat. I really couldn't swing a bat. I could throw it around and act like I was, but it wasn't a swing by any means. I still can't swing a bat to this day. So,
yep. And he played competitive ball. I actually coached for a time while he was growing up. So we were always, because it's Wyoming, there's not a lot of baseball in the spring because snow. So we were always headed to Denver and that greater metropolis area. We went to Las Vegas one year for a tournament. We went to Arizona one year for a tournament. And then we went over to Utah for a tournament there in the mid to early spring. So yeah, we are very familiar with the travel portion of baseball / softball life. So, awesome. Now, since you're there in Frisco, you guys have, I don't know that he's been moved up yet because I haven't seen, but you have the Rangers #1 prospect playing shortstop for you while I was down there. He's got some great footwork. He had a bad night at the plate, but he's got some really good footwork that I was just like, yeah, I see why he's #1.
Yeah, he's been doing really well for us. And, he's kind of an unconventional shortstop, in my opinion. Like, he's tall, he's lanky, which, like, if you think about shortstops, like, a lot of them are, like, tall-ish, but also, like, on the shorter side. And, like, real athletic, real stout. And he's just tall and lanky. And, yeah, I don't know how he does it, but he's real smooth. So he's been having a good year. The hitting has been okay. I think it's like with everything, you go through times where you're hitting the ball and you can't miss it, and other times where it's like, you could swing the 2x4 and you probably still wouldn't hit it. So it's just how it goes. But yeah, he's been doing real well. He's been fun to watch. The kids all love him. He's super great with the kids, and that's one of the things I love about Frisco is, in AA in general, is they take the time to meet the kids, whether they want to or not. But they all volunteer. I mean, the autograph signing, the pictures, like that's all up to them to decide how much they want to do when they want to do it.
Okay.
He's one of those people that's always like, yeah, for sure. I'll always take a picture with a kid and, that stuff. So it's great. But yeah, he's been doing well. And we had Alejandro Osuna. He was with Frisco. He did really well. I mean, he couldn't miss a ball. And he went right from AA to the Rangers here a couple weeks ago. So he just got his first big league hit. I don't know, maybe last week or the week before. But yeah, super cool.
Nice. So do you have any fun stories, be it trying to get somebody to buy some season tickets or for a special event that you may have somebody call in, or any of the interactions with the players that you may have had? Any fun stories, if, one or two of them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really, as funny as it is, like, we don't really interact with the players too much. I mean, they're all so nice, and they say hello and that type of stuff, but like day to day, we don't really like mingle too much. Their locker room's downstairs. We're kind of 2 floors up on the sales floor. So not too much from that standpoint. I also don't go out of my way. I don't really know how much of that is like frowned upon to just go up and be like, hey, how's it going, so-and-so, and strike up a conversation. Like, because most of the time, they are working. So it's like,
right.
Probably, and so am I, for that matter. So it's like, we both could get in trouble here. So I just play it safe, but yeah, they're always super nice. As far as like crazy stories, I don't really have any yet. I mean, I've only been there a short amount of time. I think for me, like, the funniest part about selling tickets to people is convincing them that they need what we're selling. It's like going to a baseball game is more of a want than a need. So you got to
definitely needed.
You don't need it, but you need it. If you're a baseball fan, you need it, but you don't need it. It's not like air and water. It's just like something you do. It's still fun.
Yeah.
But I think that's been the hardest part for me, is just convincing people like to come back out to the ballpark. And, Texas is hot. It's already getting hot. And I mean, people are like, oh, you just wait till July and August. But it's already in the 90s when I wake up to go to work at 8:30 in the morning. It's just brutal. So I get a lot of people that are like, it's too hot to come to a baseball game. So I don't really have.
But you have the lazy river.
I know. We do have that. People love to go in it, but seems like every time there's people in it, it's like they still find a way to say, it's too hot, whatever. Like, why are you heating the lazy river in the summer? It's like, oh my gosh. It's just a never-ending cycle of people complaining. But that's like the service element of it, where you got to like listen to them. And, I mean, I do pass along feedback. That's something that my managers are kind of in tune to. And, you know, a lot of times they're like, if you give them the opportunity to complain, they will. So you kind of got to give them a short leash. It's like, oh, how was it? And they say, oh, it was good. But while I have you on the phone, here's 8 things that I hated about it. You say it was good then. So, I mean, that's probably the funniest stories that I get. And I get some people that call in all the time that are just like, just have no idea what's going on in the world of baseball. And it's like, you got to bear with people because you know that not everyone's super ingrained into baseball. But at the same time, it's like, would you just think? Like, they're like, oh my gosh, it's going to rain. Are we going to play? It's like, it's 9:30 in the morning. The game is until 7. Like, we have a professional grounds crew. It's going to be okay.
Oh, boy.
Get it. So.
Well, you do have another fun, crazy story is you called some random dude in Wyoming, and here you are on his podcast.
Yeah, we actually, like, every time we have a homestand, afterwards we get a list of people that bought tickets.
Okay.
And we're given their phone numbers. And being in inside sales, you call individuals. So that's why I called you.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's the service element of it where it's like, okay, you have to, you know, find out how it went. And then the ultimate goal is to try and get them to maybe buy one of our smaller ticket packages and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, for some people, it just doesn't make sense. And that's the thing is there's some people that I know, and this is just not even with the Rough Riders. I mean, this is just in general, people that are in sales, that no matter what it is, they try to sell it to you. It's like, I'm not going to sell something to you if it doesn't make sense for you. Like, why would I offer you, Aaron, why would I offer you one of our ticket packages? Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, exactly.
But there's so many people that still do that. It's like, what? And that's, like I said, that's aside from what I do. That's just salespeople in general. It's like,
right.
I'm not going to say you something if it's not right. So.
Right. Ethan, what did you say?
I don't know. I don't remember now.
Okay.
It was in my head and then out. It was gone.
Yeah, I get it. So it was funny, Rachel, like I told you, I think I told you, I was actually at work. I work in the medical industry. So part of my job is, well, customer service. And the other part of it is the customer service internally, because I'm helping every single department try to find images or deleting images or whatever the case may be. But then the third facet is my customer service to the doctors, because I am right next door to them. We have a little, what I call laugh-in box, huge pop culture reference from well before either of you two were born. And they'll poke their head in and say, hey, I need this, or can you get this doctor on the phone, or something random. So it's kind of a multi-level customer service portion of my job. And I'm sitting there and all of a sudden my phone rings. I'm like, okay, cool. Just another spam call. And I look at my phone. I'm like, Frisco RoughRiders.
Oh, what? That's what it said when it comes across?
It absolutely did. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's probably why people don't answer.
He was getting the call up to the show. That's why.
So I legitimately, that's the only reason I answered the call, was because it said Frisco RoughRiders.
Wow.
So
he's like, oh man, it's my chance now.
Yeah, no.
I tested it out and I called from my work phone, my cell phone, to see what it would say, because I wanted to see if it would say like spam or Frisco RoughRiders, but mine just said Frisco, Texas. So that's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Probably why most people don't answer.
Okay, that's
I should start using my personal phone.
Well, I'm on Verizon, so if that helps you understand anything, maybe it does. I don't know. So cool. I like it, because I wouldn't expect you to have any, let me rephrase that, much interaction with the players, because like you said, they're working. You know, if they're not stretching or getting an ice bath or something like that, they're definitely working on their swing, they're watching video, whatever the case is. So you saying you don't have much interaction actually does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So,
probably for the best too. It's like they're working on trying to make it to the next level. They're trying to make it to AAA.
yeah.
It's competitive out there, and I guess I get it.
Absolutely. So since you're a softball player, since you have that first love of softball, baseball being your second love, um, last week was the Women's College World Series. My coworker and I, she had up most of the games while we were working, so she could listen to it. So by default, I got to listen to some of those games. Also got to talk to her about the World Series. She is a huge Nebraska fan. Cool. So we talked a little Nebraska. She's also a huge UCLA fan, which, having grown up north of Seattle, I can't stand UCLA. They could fall off the face of the earth and it would not hurt my feelings. So there was that little rivalry there for her and I. But you're in Texas. The finals had 2 Texas teams, Texas and Tech. How crazy was it down there?
I mean, it was honestly, I know a lot of people that like Texas Tech, a lot more of the people that I know that like Texas Tech than UT. And I think that's kind of weird just because it's like, I don't know. I didn't even know of Texas Tech until Patrick Mahomes came on the scene in the NFL. And I was like, wow, like, okay. And then arguably the best pitcher in college transferred there. And I was like, why would she go there? Like, what? What's in Lubbock, Texas? Texas
Right.
Tech. But no, anyway, yeah, I know a lot more people that were rooting for Tech. I personally was just happy OU wasn't in it. I cannot stand OU I just can't. And we have a couple OU people in the office, and it's like everything about OU softball. I don't really care about the other. Like I don't really hate OU baseball or OU football. Don't have a problem with it, but OU softball is just the worst thing on earth to me. And I think it's the players from last year ruined it for me in the years past. They just ruined it. And I don't know that I'll ever like them. And that's a shame because, I mean, their one pitcher is a great, human being. And it's hard to be like, oh, I hate OU. But I like Sam Landry. Like, she's a good person. But it's like the fact that she's at OU just makes it like, oh, salt on an open wound.
She's sick.
Right.
Yeah, she's very talented. And I mean, the whole story was just like so full circle for her. Like she played for Coach Gasso, who was, the Texas Tech coach. Yeah, so they've got a unique history and that was so cool. I didn't even know that. And I mean, I claim to follow it pretty closely, I guess. And so I was just glad it was not OU. It was a heck of a World Series in general. I mean, even the lead up to it, like Super Regionals was insane. And the Women's College World Series, I mean, I have never seen in softball so many umpire reviews. I was actually starting to get kind of annoyed because it slows the game down. And some of them I'm like, who cares? Like, it's a third inning. She left early. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever. Some of them are like justifiable, but it's like it was kind of annoying, honestly, the umpire reviews. There was like every single one of them was just so much longer than it needed to be. But hey, I mean, if it gets the call right, it gets the call right. But a drama-filled Women's College World Series is nothing new. Kind of knew Texas was going to come out on top. I said that last year when I was down there watching them play OU in the championship. It's like Texas got a damn good team. Like they are solid top to bottom. They were just so young last year. So to see them knock off, OU and then go and beat Tech, I was like, yeah, that's just, I should have put money on that, honestly, because I called that a year ago that they were going to get it this year. So, but yeah, it was great to watch. Super fun. A lot of home runs. Great crowd. There always is. I mean, people down there in Oklahoma City go nuts for softball and honestly great for the sport. So I enjoyed it. I was glued to my TV and glued to my couch. And I think luckily the one weekend for the World Series, we didn't have a homestand. So I had the weekend off. I was able to binge watch softball from like 9 a.m. until like 9 at night. Probably was not the best decision for me, but I mean, it was so fun to watch. Each game was so exciting and all that stuff. But yeah.
So for me, I kind of wasn't interested because Washington didn't make it. Again, that's the Seattle boy in me, but I was pleased to see Oregon get eliminated. Unfortunately, they got eliminated by UCLA, but hey, you can't win them all, I guess. Oklahoma, mad respect to them for winning 4 in a row, but I'm kind of with you. I was tired of them.
It's like the Patriot breeding the Patriots. It's like, all right, time for somebody else, please.
Yes. But for me, what I watched was always entertaining. It didn't matter who was playing. I did watch a little bit of Tech in one of their games leading up, and they could hit the ball. I was like, dude, these girls just don't stop. And they did. They put a lot of pressure on teams to make that mistake. They did.
I think where Tech just falls a little bit short, and next year, I mean, I think they could win it all next year for sure. I would put money on that now, actually. I mean, their pitcher is solid, but she pitched basically every single inning of the whole Women's College World Series, minus the last game where she only was able to go 2 or 3, I think 2 innings. And it's like they just need another arm to support her and back her up. I mean, that's just a lot to ask. And that was true of a lot of teams this year. They had their ace and they rode their ace. And, I mean, that's what you do in softball. But at the same time, it's like you look at a Texas and you're like, yeah, you got Tegan Kavan, who's incredible. But you also have Mac Morgan. You have Silali Gutierrez. Like, they can come out of the bullpen at any time and they're going to be almost as good as Tegan Kavan anyway. So it's like they have just a more solid team. So I think that was just something that I just kind of figured. But Texas Tech gets another pitcher, and they probably will because now everyone's going to want to go there. Now that they've proven that they can do it and get to that level and basically almost win a natty. And I think they're going to be great. So they just need another arm or 2. 2 would be nice, but 1 would be good.
Right. So as a pitcher, former pitcher, going consecutive days, is that difficult to give your arm a break, or is it something that because of the motion and how natural it is as opposed to baseball, is it easier to do? Just curious.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's more natural on your arm for sure. I mean, obviously I've never pitched baseball, so I can't really compare the two. But I used to, do a little bit of middle infield back in the day. I actually played shortstop a little bit in college. But anyways, I just know like from that how hard it is kind of on your arm. So I can't even imagine baseball, how that would be pitching wise. But yeah, softball, it's considered more natural. You're able to pitch as much or as little as you want. I mean, if you play 3 games in a day, you could pitch all 3 games in a day. I mean, you're probably going to feel like crap probably about the 12th inning. But I'd say for me, like the hardest part about it, pitching like multiple days in a row, was just knowing especially after a full 7-inning game, or even if you go extras, that you have to pitch the next day. And when you get up and you're warming up and you're like, oh, kind of sore, a little sore, but you got to just like shake it off and kind of jump that mental hurdle. I think coming back and throwing the second or third day is more of a mental game. It is physical because your body is tired, but it's balancing that line of, yeah, you're tired, but your mind's got to tell your body that it's not. So I'd say that's kind of the hardest part, at least for me. I mean, it's different for everyone, but at least for me, that was the challenge. Okay,
that's fair. So that kind of leads into our Pat Hobart Don't Be Stupid Award winner. I have 2 instances from the College World Series. But Ethan, I know you shot me a text the other day, and I don't remember which one that was.
Let me go see if I can find it. You do your time with the other one you were going to do.
I know. I want to say yours had something to do with a suspension, if I remember right. Rachel. So what we do, I know I kind of explained it in the email, is we just find random things that are like, really, come on, man. So like earlier discussing Wander Franco. We've had umpires be nominated, which is why we have the Pat Hobart Award. We've discussed former players, former coaches. We don't eliminate anybody because they aren't playing active. So heck, I've even nominated fan bases before. So do you have one?
I do. And it's you're probably gonna like it. It's UCLA. Megan Good. She had a home run.
Yep.
Missed home plate. Girl, what are you doing?
Yes, that actually was one of mine. So I'm glad you took it.
You're looking at your teammates. Like, who cares about them? You see them in the dugout. Like, why are we? The plate is the goal. Like, you already did.
She skipped over the plate,
which is hit the home run. Now all you have to do is just touch your foot to every single corner of every single base. And she just stepped right over it. Like, oh my! When I was watching that, I was like, oh, that is elementary in my opinion. I've never done it. I've never missed a base. In fact, I was so like cognizant of it when I was running. But I mean, Shohei did it actually a couple weeks ago. He forgot to touch first base. Like, how did you do that?
He went back and
yeah, he did go back, but still, it was like, oh my god.
He didn't have anybody touching him and telling him to go back, though.
Well, in my opinion, that should have been an out. Like, it doesn't matter that I know the rules weren't clear, but I think going forward, like, that's got to be an out because that on deck batter isn't in the field of play yet. She's on deck. That's not a position. That's not. So it's not like she's on second.
Yeah, and my don't be stupid kind of piggybacks off of that, and that goes to the rule interpreters for the softball NCAA branch of people. Dude, she was touched. In baseball, you're technically not supposed to be helped back to a base by anybody. Because, I mean, third base coaches all the time are giving guys high fives for hitting a home run. Cool, I get it. That's not a problem. But they can't say no and push them back to the base like she was. Her teammates high-fived her, and one of them kind of turned her around and said, now go touch the base. You gave up your position at that point in time. Rules committee for women's softball, get it straight. She was walking off the field. That's giving up your position. You can't do that.
And then they came back with and I give Karen Weekly for Tennessee credit because I would have lost my mind if I was a coach and that happened. And then they said, oh, it's not reviewable. It's like, after all that, you're going to come back and say it's not reviewable by Appendix G or whatever the heck the rule. Like, you can't. Like, what? Then why did we just waste 15 minutes of our time trying to figure out if she's safe, if she's out, and then, oh, she's safe because it's not reviewable. Like, that is such bullshit. I'm so glad that it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Dumb.
And I was actually kind of pissed off because I wanted Tennessee to go through.
Me too.
I have friends over in that greater Knoxville area south of there. I went through cancer treatment with some people that actually live in Knoxville, had season tickets to just about every sport you could go. So I was really pulling for Tennessee, but oh well.
Carlin Pickens is a dog. That girl, the pitcher that throws like 76 or whatever.
Yeah, she's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you throw a ball that fast underhand?
Well, she also threw the fastest pitch ever to Jordy Ball, and Jordy Ball
like
when they were playing Nebraska.
79-8 or something.
Yes.
And before that was beating her previous record from like 77-8 or 77-9. She beat her own record this year.
And I don't even know how that's possible. Like, if you look at her, like, she's like 6'1" and all legs, but still it's like, it's not like she's like, how is she getting that much leverage to throw it that hard?
I don't even know how to throw it underhand like that anyways. So I don't know. If I knew how to do it, trust me. I topped
out at 67. I was 10 miles an hour faster than that. Oh my God. If I would have hit off that, I would just go up there and stick my bat out or like try and bunt it. If I bunt it, it'd probably go over the fence anyways. So.
I found it.
Okay, shoot.
Jose Alvarado suspended 80 games without pay after testing positive for pets.
And that's a New York Met, right?
No, Philly.
Philly.
He's a Philly.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Oh. In today's world, how do you not remember that they test randomly? And it's not like they don't know.
I have another Don't Be Stupid award.
Yes.
This goes to the Murray State coach or the Wright State coach.
Oh, yes.
Whatever his dumb name is. Because why in the world, against the number one team in the nation, would you take out a guy that's throwing a no-hitter? In what world? 76 pitches, you're going to take him out? He's throwing a no-hitter against the number one team in the country. They can't touch him.
He took too many lessons from Kevin Cash.
Think he. Listen.
Keep going.
I know my guys are young. I know the kids I coach are young. They've all been young. 18 and 19 is the max. If one of my 18-year-olds is at 76 pitches and is throwing a no-hitter, I'm going to let him throw.
Yes.
And
you did.
Up a hit, and then it's like, all right, well.
And if you give up a hit, cool, I'll take you out. Cool, you did it.
Yeah.
You kept them scoreless. You gave up one hit to the number one team in the nation. That's awesome. Congratulations. But instead, you take him out in the top of the seventh. For what reason? I don't know. He's at 76 pitches and is throwing a complete gem. It's not good enough. Take him out. Put in a – here's the numbers right here. I got it. You put in what's his face? Will Hartzell or whatever. He threw 1.2 innings. 1.2. Gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, and struck out one dude.
And lost the game.
Lost the game. Took the L because he sucks. He's terrible. Get him out. You could have kept C. Allen in. He threw 6 innings, no hits, no earned runs. Like 4 walks maybe, but 7 strikeouts. 7 punch-outs against the number one team in the nation. My kids
Rachel, it doesn't take much to raise his blood pressure.
My kids are 14 years old. If one of my kids is throwing a no-hitter and he's at 76 pitches, I'm going to give him till 85. And if he still has it at 85, I'm going to say, okay, go bust it out till 105. Let me see what you can do. And if he gives up a hit, 94 pitches in, I'm taking him out after he gives up a hit.
Yes. Yeah.
The dude has no hit. There's 2 zeros on the board. 2 zeros.
This is an episode thing. Every episode, he will do this at least once.
No, I've been better at it. This is the first time
he has been better
in a long time.
He has been better, but
there's times stuff like this.
There's times where I'll intentionally poke him, or we have another guest that's periodical on our show that's really good friends with us. He lives in Wisconsin. He'll poke him every once in a while to see what kind of a reaction he can get. So you have met Ethan, the appropriate version of Ethan. So
don't do stupid things. If you do stupid things, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
Hint the name. Don't be stupid. You want to know somebody who's not stupid? You want to know someone who's not stupid? Jack Caglione.
Yeah.
Did you see he went 4 the other day?
Yes.
I told you. And that's for everybody to hear. Jacob, that one's for you.
Yes. Well, dude, he was only in Omaha for what, a week and a half, 2 weeks before they called him up to the big show. Was it?
No, he was closer to 3.
And they couldn't pitch to him.
He was hitting everything. Home runs. 4 of them came in 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah, it was a beach ball. He was hitting a beach ball.
It's still that way, and he's playing Major League Baseball now.
Yes. He's also really he's big. He's not human. He's not. He's not. So we're going to go back to softball, and we're going to talk a little bit about the AUSL, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, which is one of the women's softball leagues. And I honestly, when I sent you that email, that was really the first time I'd heard of this league. And actually the second time, because I had seen something come across that MLB was investing or doing something with it. So can you explain AUSL, Rachel?
Yeah, essentially, there's 4 teams right now. I don't know if they're going to possibly expand, but there's the Bolts, Talons, Bandits. Oh, God, what's the 4th one? Blaze? Did I say that one?
No, you did not.
Okay, so yeah, those are the 4 teams. And, I mean, they got the best of the best girls from, college and stuff like that. I mean, they've got everyone from Sis Bates, her big Washington girl, and they got a whole bunch of girls that just came out of college that are just incredible athletes. And yeah, it's kind of a unique format. They play the first couple of weeks, I think 24 games. They play 24 games just on a regular season, and then the last 4 weeks they utilize a format that's basically like a video game is the best way I can describe it. Is they get points for doing certain things well, and they can deduct points from the other person or the other teams, but it's not scored based on who has more runs at the end of it. It's point based, so it's kind of fun. It's different, but yeah, a lot of really great talent there. It's the new thing. Obviously, I don't think the pay is what it hopefully could be one day. I know they don't make enough to support a family or anything like that. They oftentimes have other jobs and do camps and clinics and stuff like that. Or some of them are on the Olympic team, and that's coming up in 2028 here, and actually in Oklahoma City. So coming up, they're doing that. But having Kim know that she's the GM for the Marlins, she has a softball background. She kind of adopted the league. She's the president, and obviously with her ties in with the Marlins, she was able to convince the MLB to invest in it, and it was probably the best decision that they could have made. A couple of years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago now, I don't even know, maybe longer, honestly, we had the MPF, which was the National Pro Fast Pitch, and that grew pretty well, and there just wasn't enough money in it to sustain. We're adding teams too fast, and it just was like at some point there was 10 or 12 teams, and there just wasn't enough money with the investors to support that, so they ended up starting to cut them, and then it just kind of fizzled out. And then the AUSL, or I guess Athletes Unlimited, which they have softball, lacrosse, volleyball, they have a bunch of different sports, but they kind of made a softball branch and kind of took it over. So they're doing that, and I mean, I hope it works out. I mean, it's a great thing to have softball on all year round, and advertise and broadcast women's sports, especially softball. So I'm hoping it works out, hoping it sticks around, and I know Kim's probably going to kill it. She's gonna do what she does. And she was
really good at her position there in Miami.
Yeah,
really good. And when she stepped back, I was like, man, that's too bad, because she was good, and she was making a difference with that roster. So it's good to see her land on her feet. Not gonna lie, I wish it would have been able to stay in baseball, but this is a great place. And with, like you said, with her contacts, I think the partnership with MLB is a natural fit. I want to say, was it Schwarber or one of the Philadelphia guys? His sister is involved in it. So there's a lot of familial ties with your MLB players having sisters that are going to be playing in this league because they're almost done with college, or they are just getting signed up to play or whatever the case is. So I think it's great because you're going to now have that backing that, is it going to look like what the WNBA looks like? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I hope it gets better attention than what the WNBA did up until last year. So that's my hope because softball's fun. I don't pay enough attention to it, but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And I think a lot of times people have kind of a hard time getting into it. But you see how even many people show up for the Women's College World Series. And I know that's one event. But I think in the opening day of this AUSL, we had one of I forget what city they were even opened up in. I think it was I don't remember. Wichita, maybe, if my memory serves me right. I mean, their stadium isn't huge, but I mean, it was filled. Every seat was pretty much full. Like, people came. So I think the visibility is just, I mean, it's getting there. It's hopefully going to continue to rise. And I think when it does, we'll all look back on it and be like, oh, I remember when, everyone was just sitting around. What's pro softball? But that's kind of what I'm hopeful for. I hope it takes roots. I mean, will it ever be as popular as, the male counterpart sports? No. But I mean, the hope is
it doesn't need to be
close. Yeah. It's something different. Everyone has their sport. I mean, there's some people that are huge NASCAR people. I mean, for me, I'm like, I don't know a thing about NASCAR, but I mean, there are people that are diehard. So, AUSL softball and pro softball could be somebody's diehard. And hopefully it is. Yeah. I mean, even with the RoughRiders, there's people that are diehard RoughRiders fans and, have come to every game since 2012 or whatever, 2005 or whatever it was. So, I mean, there's just people, everyone has their neat little corner of life where they're just, that's what they do. That's what they like. So hopefully that can be that for some of them, and we can get some more people into it. And obviously the more people we get into it, the more investment, and that just opens up more doors. So the MLB partnership is a good one for sure.
And they were taking the show on the road too.
Oh yeah.
Like coast to coast, because I remember seeing Seattle as one of the places where they were going to play. Like you said, Wichita, I think they were going to play in Oklahoma City at least once or twice. I think they were going to play in Omaha as well. So, I mean, they're getting around. I'm thinking Philadelphia, I think, is one of the cities I saw too, if I remember right. So it's interesting. If they're in the region, Denver's got a new women's soccer team coming to town. Yeah. So I know Denver is growing with their professional women's sports. So if it's in town, shoot, I'll take the 1.5-hour drive south. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Be fun. Something new.
You're not going to go watch soccer. You're not going to go watch soccer. That's not going to
No, I'm not going to go watch soccer. I was talking the professional softball.
No, I know, but
I'll make the drive.
I heard soccer, so I said, no, that's not happening.
No, I'm not going to go watch soccer. I have friends that play soccer. They can play soccer. I'm just not going to watch. I'll support them, but no, I can't.
Not my thing either.
I grew up playing soccer. That was enough for me. Because, you got to do something when you're growing up. And soccer was it for several years. So, oh well. All right. Real quick before we get to the end here, we're going to do a little trivia. So, you need to guess the team or the player that this is about. So, there is one pitcher. He was the first pitcher in MLB history to strike out the first 8 hitters in a game and throw a 2-hitter in that same game. However, that was the boring portion of the history made for his team, because the next night, Nolan Ryan threw a 1-hitter and struck out 14 days. 2 days after this feat, Mike Scott comes through a no-hitter, all on 3 consecutive days. So 3 days, 3 hits for the opponents. And this particular team wound up winning the pennant, going to the playoffs. This
The
was in
Astros.
1986. You are correct. The Astros. Now, do you know the pitcher?
Which one? The first one or the last one?
The first one. The first pitcher to strike out the first 8 hitters and throw a 2-hitter in that game. Trust me, I would have never gotten this. Jim DeShays.
I don't even know who that is.
I saw that question the other day.
I actually pulled that from the podcast that Tim Kirkjian does with his son. And Tim Kirkjian asked his son that very question. So that's where I pulled it from. So Kirkjian's, thank you for that piece of knowledge. But how do you have like the most boring start in a 3-game series and you struck out 8 people in a row to start the game and set a record? That's, to me, that's disheartening. What do I know? Nothing, obviously. So there you go. But that was in 1986. Ethan, good job with the Houston Astros because you knew that's where Nolan Ryan was, correct?
Yeah. I put 2
As soon as I said his name, I knew you would get it. So
I knew it wasn't
Rachel.
the Rangers.
That was in the 90s.
That was after.
Yep, you are correct. So Rachel, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
I appreciate it. It's not often we get to talk with people that we don't have any association with, except for now, because I went to a Frisco RoughRiders game. So
That's right.
Baseball is a small world, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's good to meet you guys and talk about some softball, talk about some baseball, and the crazy world we live in with these sports of ours, and all that entails. People being dumb.
Yep. Yeah.
It's an everyday occurrence, not just in baseball.
Yeah, it is. So, well, good news is my dad and I have already talked about making another baseball trip next year, kind of starting to do that as a yearly thing. And one of the things that both he and I agree with is we have got to make Frisco one of those staple stops, just simply because that ball field, I fell in love with the ball field. Like I told you when you called, it doesn't have a baseball stadium feel to it. It was kind of that throwback to an old wooden stadium from back in the day, early 1900s, but incorporated a ton of new technology. The fan interaction was phenomenal, better than the 2 AAA teams that I went and saw on that trip. So rest assured, if we can get this up and running for next year, I'll be giving you a call for some tickets.
All right, we can do that for sure. Right.
So if people want to find you, Rachel, where can they find you?
You can find me at the Frisco RoughRiders, Frisco, Texas. I will be there pretty much every game. I have social media, but honestly, my handles are all different, so I really couldn't tell you what they are.
It's all good.
But
It's
yeah.
all good.
If anyone wants to come to a Frisco RoughRiders game, company outing, I got you.
Give her a call.
Yeah, give me a call.
I speak from experience. You will not be disappointed with that stadium at all.
It's a good one. I mean, we actually have where I'm from, we have a AA stadium, the Erie Seawolves, and they're in the Eastern League. Yeah, I put it right up there with Erie. I love Erie's ballpark. It's so different. But
nice.
Yeah, Frisco. I've been to a lot of AA games. I'm kind of into AA baseball at the moment. So been to a few parks.
I like it. I like it. Where can they find you?
Yeah, just find me on Facebook, Instagram, type in my name. It should pop up.
I like it. For First Pitch Strike, you can always find us on your favorite platform for podcasts. This will be published tomorrow. You can also find First Pitch Strike on Instagram, Facebook, and X. You can find me. There's my handle on X, or just search my name on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Snapchat. If you're really, really bored, I suppose you could find me on Threads, but I don't ever post on Threads. I don't ever get on Threads, but maybe once a month. So I'm really boring that way. So anyway, that's all we got for the night. Rachel, let's do it again next year, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. I'll always hit you up when the time is appropriate. But other than that, for Rachel, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ethan.
Peace out.
Bye.